love whiskey so much, but I don't know anything about it, and up until this point I've been too embarrassed to ask. So I've come to the Flatiron Room here in Manhattan, and I'm going to talk to the owner, Tommy, and he is going to school me on the world of whiskey. Cheers. So how do I drink whiskey and smell whiskey and act like I know what I'm talking about? Because you see the people who know a lot about wine, and they all look like giant a-holes, like swirling it and sniffing it. And
Right.
But there's a method to it. So how do you do that with whiskey?
There's two different ways to drink whiskey. Someone buys you a shot at a bar. Don't apply any of the things that we're going to talk about here.
Okay, that's like bad. You've had a bad day.
Drink the shot and put it down, smile, and move on.
Okay.
But if you really want to get the most out of it, for me, I try to use as many senses as I can. Sure. So I'll walk you through that.
Please.
Okay. First thing we want to do is engage our eyes. If this was crystal clear, you know from our previous discussions that crystal clear means it's moonshine or new make or white dog. But also similar to wine, if you roll it in the glass, you can get a sense of the viscosity of it.
How thick it is?
Yeah, how thick it is. So the way it clings to the side of the glass is a good indication of how it's going to cling to the side of your mouth. Next thing we're going to do is nose it. And when we nose whiskey, we're not nosing wine. Remember that 40% alcohol is the minimum whiskey has to be, so you don't want to jam your nose in there.
It's going to be like smelling gasoline, like
right,
burning.
Ethanol. That ethanol is going to come up and it's going to overpower your nose. So you want to gently bring it in and then just inhale the aromatics.
And keep my mouth open?
Well, you can keep your mouth open.
Do you look like a mouth breather at the bar going?
You can start off by just nosing it and just bring your nose in and inhale it. If you're finding out that it's hot or if you're getting that heat on the nose, inhale through your mouth. So you're not going to get the burn on the nose, but you're going to get the flavor is going to come on the back of your palate.
Cool.
The next thing we're going to do is tasting it. And what I like to do is take a small sip. I hold it in my mouth. I let it hit the different parts of my tongue. Hold it in there for a few seconds. Some people say chew on it, and then you want to swallow. But most important thing is after you swallow, open up your mouth and exhale. And you'll find that that heat that you usually get trapped in your chest, it's going to come out your mouth. It's going to be a lot more forgiving.
So you're not that dude in the movies going like, oh, it burns.
Right,
like, oh.
right.
Okay, so you drink it.
Hold it in your mouth. And let's try it.
Okay.
Let's try it. No better way than to try it. Cheers.
Oh, that's good.
It's good. Now, what's going on in your mouth right now?
It's like, it still stings a little bit.
Right.
Stings the nostrils a little bit.
What's going on in your mouth right now is called the finish. And the finish, for me, is what really can differentiate a good whiskey from an exceptional whiskey.
Is this what you're paying for? When you pay a lot of money for a whiskey, this is what you're paying for?
The finish, the complexity of the finish, how that resonates in your mouth, how that builds, the layers build in your mouth, that really sets a good whiskey apart from a great whiskey. And that's also why people say, drink less, taste more. It's just, it's something you want to sip, you want to savor, you want to let the whiskey continue doing its magic even after you've swallowed.
So when I go to the bar and I hear somebody order, bourbon neat, what does that mean?
It simply means from the bottle into the glass. You're not adding any water, you're not adding any ice, you're not adding any mixer.
Okay.
A lot of times they'll give you a side of water. The truth is water can be your friend. By bringing the alcohol content down slightly, you're going to be able to taste more on the palate.
And you don't need
You don't need much.
Like a drop
just a
or
splash.
two.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. And that doesn't necessarily hold true for every single whiskey, but my general rule is try it neat. If you like it neat, continue drinking it neat. If it's not speaking to you, if it seems a little hot, add a splash of water and go from there.
Now, if I order whiskey with an ice cube in it, are you going to have me jailed?
I will not. In fact, I'll be the first to admit, in the summertime, bourbon on the rocks is one of my go-to drinks.
Are you ruining the flavor by throwing a giant chunk of ice in there?
Ice is almost the opposite, has almost the opposite effect that water does. It actually contracts the aromatics and it contracts the flavors. So you may not be able to get as many aromatics on the nose, and you may not be able to taste as many flavors on the palate, but sometimes you just want a cold glass of whiskey. So there's nothing wrong with that.
The whiskey police won't come and take it away.
They won't. And if they do, just find another bar to patron.
Perfect. Cheers.
Cheers.
Open your mouth when you drink it. So that was your nosing and tasting 101 when it comes to whiskey. Next time you're in Manhattan, make sure you check out the Flatiron Room. Say hi to Tommy. He will give you all the information you need to know. Thank you, Tommy.
My pleasure, Bethany.